Flux. Its contents will help you listen to this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Reflux capacitor, fluxing, crew, to stations. Scanning for Super Mario Bros. 3, 1990. Prepare to rewind in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the Master Interrupter Powers.
Let's go!
Let's go, indeed. Also, for this discussion of the game Super Mario Bros. 3, we welcome back two of our awesome crew. First, let's start with our ship's artist, Colin Schlicht. Welcome back, Colin.
Hey, what's up, Mario Brothers? And
What's up, our Mario brother?
What's up?
how's it going? Thanks for having me back.
Very glad to have you back.
No problemo.
And along with Colin, we welcome back our tactics officer of the pod, Kitos Ruiz.
Thanks for having me back, guys.
You're very welcome, Kitos. And now that you have a quick flyby of who we are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for Super Mario Bros. 3?
Yeah, Super Mario 3D World was released November 21st, 2013.
Paul, that's like a Wii version.
It was
this is
voted the best Wii game for effects.
This is the NES, not the WII.
Oh, that's like retro. What is this podcast? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're on the Retro Rewind podcast.
Oh, okay.
Not you're back then, not at now.
Oh, okay. Let's go back then.
Exactly.
All right. Super Mario Bros. Period 3 was originally released in Japan on October 23rd, 1988. And then the U.S. had to wait a year and a half for it to be released on February 12th, 1990. But that's not as bad because Europe had to wait another year and a half, almost 3 years.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
For August 29th, 1991. The runtime average to beat it is reportedly about 5 hours and is rated E for is directed by, and I'm sorry about these names, are about the butcher. Here we go.
Here's the payback for that. Oh, Super Mario 3D.
Oh, pick a box. Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka was directed this. The artists were Takashi Tezuka, Hideki Kono, Hiroki Kimura, Yoichi Katobe were the artists. Designers who are different than artists for some reason. Shigeru Miyamoto, Takashi Tezuka, Katsuya Uguchi, Hideki Kono, Kensuke Tanabe, and the music was composed by Koji Kondo. All right, ready for the box office trivia?
Well done.
I'm ready, Kitos.
Thank you.
Colin, are you ready?
Yep.
All right.
Let's
Awesome.
go.
All right.
Live chat, feel free to join in as well. Go for it, Paul.
Super Mario Bros. 3 was made for about $56 million. That's adjusted for inflation.
Mm-hmm.
And earned about $2 billion worldwide. Also adjusted for inflation.
Oh.
Now, given this, how high in the list of the best-selling original Nintendo Entertainment System games of all time do you think it ranks? We'll go for the top 50.
Wow.
So, Neko in chat says number 1, but let's start with Colin. What's your guess?
Number 3.
Number 3, Kitos.
That's what I was gonna pick. Okay, I'll go 4.
4. All right. Let's see. Anyone else in chat?
At $2 billion, you don't think it's number 1? Okay, go for it.
Ashley guesses
I thought that number was a little
2.
low.
Yeah.
I feel like, number 1, I feel like there's other NES games, but that one's, of all NES games, I'm just going to go for number 1. Price is Right. $1. We have Stacy also guesses 3. D. Tungsten guesses 1. Ashley 2. And Neko said 1. Paul, what is the final answer?
The final answer is, according to Wikipedia that anybody can edit, it is number 3.
Number
Yeah.
3. Oh, okay. All right. Well done, Colin. Good job.
I went in there and
Stacey.
edited it. So
Oh my God. No wonder.
Well, the original Super Mario Brothers sold twice as many as.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised by that.
over
I figured that
twice.
was higher.
Huh. Okay. Well, thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or our subsequent roundtable discussion, which we'll get into once Alice has located our target game.
Alert, alert. Approaching target. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
Mario! Mario! Mario!
He's back. All you had to do was ask. Super Mario Bros. 3 from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power.
But alas, not superpower. that advertisement commercial probably brought back some memories.
That
about
was intense, man. Jeez.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Cover the whole
Pretty
U.S.
epic.
right there.
Wow.
They don't make commercials like that anymore.
No,
Yes.
no one has the guts to. But to give you some context for the things we collectively remembered most before our replay, here is our memory mind meld synopsis of Super Mario Bros. 3. And it breaks down by story, gameplay, and multiplayer. So for the story, in a theater production of some sort, cartoon Bob Hoskins goes on his third adventure to rescue Princess Toadstool from Bowser and his minions with a fleet of airships who have turned all the kings of the Mushroom Lands into monsters. So Mario has to change them back by stomping on Goombas, dodging slow-moving bullets, and defeating a Koopa. For the gameplay, the graphics and gameplay were both a level up from the first two games on the classic NES, and the Super Mario All-Stars remaster for the SNES looks even better, but plays just as smooth as the original. Controls are amazing like most Mario games, with side-scrolling, jumping on enemies, flying with a trash panda hat, flicking them with your tail, fireballing them, or even hammering them. Plus a frog suit, but the awesome Tanooki suit is the best Mario power-up, and I think at some point you could use Yoshi instead of Mario. For multiplayer, only Luigi. Lame. I don't think there is a two-player. Is there? Well,
there was
a two-player, and Bob Hoskins wasn't in this, so we are obviously
What?
deceptive.
I think that was the cartoon 8-bit version of Bob Hoskins. Maybe
Based
not.
on those memories as flawed, so flawed as they were. What rating did they lead you to predict for this game before replaying it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Colin, let's start with you. What is your prediction for Super Mario Bros. 3?
My prediction was nostalgic, actually.
Nostalgic?
Yeah, like, can it still hold up to today's gaming? Is it still fun?
Kitos.
My idea with that was that it would be nostalgic.
Nostalgic as well.
Yeah.
How about you, Paul?
Forget these guys. I said classic. I think I thought it could still hold up.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that.
It's not supposed to be.
I said nostalgic as well.
Oh, I'm the
yeah.
only Mario fan, huh?
Just because you like this game
Oh, I
doesn't
love
mean you're
Mario. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Yeah, so what does that say? That he loves Mario.
Let's get
but-
into it.
All right, we'll get
Let's do
into
this.
it.
Come on.
Okay, you know what? It'll be interesting to see if those predictions came true. But first, let's get into our discussion, just like Paul said. But before we do, real quick, I'm curious, how far did you get in this game so that we can sort of give people sort of expectations for, like, what's the furthest you've ever gotten in this game? Have you ever been in it? And did you beat it this time in your playthrough? So I'll be up front. I played every single level except for the whatever's after level 2 of World 8 because I could not get past it to save my life.
There's a lot more. Did you get to the
Bravo.
flying ship? No? Okay. Never mind.
Paul,
Yeah.
I rarely say I hate you, but I'm really close now.
Bite me.
Okay, so I didn't, and I've never been in this game. I don't think actually. Paul, how about you?
So I've beaten this before, and I've played every level before. This time around, I cheated my way through. I just beat the first world and got the 2 whistles in the first world. Warped after beating the first one, warped to the 4th, and then warped to the 8th, and then played through the 8th to beat Bowser and save the princess.
I will say Paul neglected to tell me how to get those whistles. Thanks a lot, Paul, but that's okay.
Oh, you're welcome.
Paul, Kitos, how far did you get this time?
So I got halfway through World 2.
Okay.
And I couldn't get any farther, and
All right.
I could go into that later on when we talk about everything.
Have you ever been in this before?
I've never beaten it before, but I do remember getting farther than that.
Okay, yeah, totally.
But my memory is hazy at this point.
No worries. How about you, Colin?
Yeah. So you said the record was 5, or the average was 5 hours.
Average 5 hours to beat, which is bollocks.
Yeah, I beat it in like 4 hours.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I just put the raccoon hat on and just flew through the entire episode up top. You know?
Wait, did you like get the game genie and use the P-wing on every level?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the way to do it, right?
Wait,
Yeah,
how'd you?
and it
There's a
took
game genie.
That took you that long to beat?
Yeah, there's a game genie for the Switch actually now. Yeah,
What?
You're pulling my chain. There isn't.
chains are being pulled. No,
I knew it.
It's a jumper chain.
I got no. I actually just got it again and just revisited it again earlier this week. So I got to the water level.
Okay, I think that's world.
So that's past
3?
world 3. So that's past the desert.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, very good. So we sort of have a range of playthroughs and perspectives and paths of this game. But let's get into the things after this playthrough that we found we really liked about Super Mario Brothers 3.
Best 3.
Let's start with Colin. What's one thing you really liked?
Yeah, one thing I really liked was just the update to the graphics compared to like the first game. Just character design and everything.
Yeah,
it's just way cooler, way more fun. It's just more upbeat and refined. And it doesn't take away from the gameplay or anything at all. You know, it just kind of shows what the NES can really do, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's just more engaging and certainly better than Super Mario 2. So, yeah.
What? Come on.
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros. 2 is great. I can actually beat that game.
Just ask for it. They'll tell you.
Well, sort of along those lines, Colin, was something that I was actually really in line with you. I thought the graphics for an 8-bit were pretty astounding. The only graphics on the NES that I think are better than this is Kirby's Adventure. I think
Or Super Mario Bros. 2.
I haven't played that yet.
Or Super Mario Bros. 2.
Which is so weird.
I feel like it's almost Master System level of color. And for those that don't know, the Master System looks, in my opinion, really a lot better than the NES in terms of color depth.
Isn't
and
that
everything.
Sega?
Yeah, the Sega Master
Yeah.
System.
Okay.
The thing before the Genesis, exactly.
Yeah, the 8-bit
Yes.
version, yeah.
Yes, the 8-bit version. So it looked on par with that, but yeah, I thought they were astounding for an 8-bit game.
Yep.
Kitos, what was something that blew you away? Graphics, sound, characters, anything like that?
Yeah, actually, so I played on the Switch All-Star version, the online one. And heck, it looked great. It would look way better than what I remember the SNES looking like way back in the day when I played it.
You didn't play the NES version, you played the SNES version?
Which is a port.
I think so.
Okay. You could play the NES version, guys.
Not if you don't have it.
Yeah, on Switch Online.
Online. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's the NES. You go to the NES.
You have
instead
to have
of
a Switch
SNES.
for that, don't you?
Yes, or an NES Classic, or I know.
Wait, we were supposed to do the NES one?
Yes.
Oops.
Yeah,
I did the SNES one.
Francisco was really adamant about that. I asked, and he was like, "No, original."
That's why me.
That's why you don't ask, I guess.
Ask. Yeah.
You mean you learn not to ask? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I did go between the two, though. So
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, Okay,
But
so you played
yeah.
the All-Star version. Okay, but yeah, so the graphics definitely in the All-Star version, which I've never actually played myself, but I've seen it. They do look
it's
beautiful
awesome.
for
Oh,
sure.
they are better.
It looked
Mhm.
great. Like,
And the
I
music
thought that was
is
amazing.
better. Everything's
Everything's like 16-bit all of a sudden. How did this happen?
Actually has backgrounds and everything.
Yeah,
I know,
it
right?
moved. and-
That's- What? Not this
Yeah.
weird glitch on the right side of the
It was
screen?
even in 3D. What?
Oh my goodness.
Those were weird mushrooms I was having though.
Oh my word. Okay, let's go to Paul next. What's something you enjoyed? And I assume you played the NES version, or did you also play the All-Star
I
version?
played the NES version
Okay.
on the emulator.
Mhm.
So on the PC.
Okay.
And the number 3 thing that I liked is I remember, speaking of graphics that blew me away, this was my first introduction to Giant Land or Big World, or where all the blocks and the characters are like twice as big.
Yes.
It's just so much fun. That's
Dude, I
probably my
forgot about
favorite
that.
level.
Yeah, I think
Or that's my
World
favorite
4?
world.
World
Yeah,
4, I
4,
think? Yeah.
World 4.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So I
forgot
mean,
about
it's a simple concept, but it's just fun for me to play through that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
By the way, this is sort of an aside. In my playthrough, I did not find the giant shoe. I remember there being a giant shoe
There's
that you could be
one
in.
level that has I think you could. There's a way to go around that level and not being able to play it. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's only in one level. So for the boot that you go in,
Yeah,
that wind
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So I wasn't just decepting.
No,
that's an actual
that's
thing.
one of my favorite suits. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm bummed I missed that. But
yeah.
all right.
What level is that in? Google away.
I don't know. Well, while you're Googling that up, let's go back to Kitos. What's something else you enjoyed?
So one of the things I liked about it was there were like secrets everywhere. I know you guys are starting to talk about them,
Yeah.
but it's been a long time since I've played this, so it was almost like going in like a new player. So I don't remember where any of the secrets are or any of that stuff.
Yeah,
So
I didn't either.
5-3, by the way, is called the Goomba shoe. It's in
Thank you.
World
Thank you,
5,
Paul.
Episode 3.
yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry to
so-
cut you off, Geet, though. So I'm going to interrupt there, apparently.
Yeah, that's how you got the title, right? You gotta keep that title.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no. So having knowing that there are secrets because it is a Mario game, I at least understood that. So I was like, I wonder if this pipe will lead me somewhere, or this thing will lead me somewhere, or I wonder. And then I flew up, and yeah, I could get to the top half of a stage, like above the top of the screen. I'm like,
Mhm,
oh, there's like a whole lot of like secrets and things all over this game. So I thought that was great about it.
Yeah. It's not a simple just playthrough. Yeah.
Yeah. It almost was, and I read that the later Marios took a lot from this, like Super Mario World did, like the whole flying component. But yeah, just that whole idea that there was more than just sort of the horizontal space that you could fly up and find other things was very, very cool for sure.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. Let's go back to Paul. What's something else you liked?
I loved the range of different suits. First of all, you can get suits. It's not just eating a flower and shooting fireballs from Mario 1, but all the raccoon, the Tanooki, the frog, the hammer, if you're able to get that, or the boop. But I loved the options that each one of them had as well.
Absolutely.
Really? That's the one you're
Yes.
going to go with, Paul?
Yeah, I love the suits. Did you get the Tanuki? Do you know how to change into a
Yes,
statue?
I do know how to change the Tanooki. For those that don't know, you press jump and down, or run
Hold
and
down and you hold down and press B or
okay.
jump.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I knew it was one of those. There's only 2
Yeah.
buttons, so we're good.
You know, they almost didn't release the Tanuki in the US version
Really?
because there's a whole history of it in Japan, but not in the
okay.
US. So we're like,
Yeah.
we don't know what the significance is, but it turns out people love it anyway here.
Yeah, I don't know if it really matters if
No,
it's
it
actually a
doesn't.
good gameplay mechanic.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, we don't. It'd be nice to have that lore, but it's not the end of the world if we don't.
Yeah.
Colin, was there did any of the suits make your like list, or was there something else that really stood out?
Yeah, absolutely. The suits were on my list for sure. I just definitely love the variety there. It's really interesting. But I'll move on to something else that I really like. I liked the that gauge. What would you call that?
Oh,
like a
the
power
P meter.
gauge?
The
P meter.
Power
meter. Yeah, I just thought that was a really interesting addition to the gameplay.
Absolutely.
And I think like if you hit that randomizer at the end of your episodes or at the end of your levels.
Yeah.
Like I think if you really hit it, the P meter or the power meter in stride, like you're pretty much guaranteed to get a star.
Okay, I thought I was getting that. Okay, I thought I was noticing that pattern. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
But there's like a couple levels where it's designed to give you a mushroom instead, just to throw you off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but most of them, like over 90% of them, they're designed that way.
Well, that's cool. For me, one more thing I liked before we get to our classic makers about Super Mario 3 is I thought the level variety, there's tons of level variety. Like level design in this was very varied. And the difficulty of the levels from world to world and level to level is a nice gradual slope up. It doesn't go from it's not like first world's easy and then everything else is like crazy hard. At least that's how I experienced it. It was like every world, it just sort of ramped up, and it even started adding more puzzly elements. Like I had like a few levels, I'm like, wait, how am I going to do this? Oh, okay, this is how I do it. And I
just go to the right.
I just used 2 whistles and finished the game that way. Woohoo!
That's a go.
That's a go. So I thought that was really cool because I don't remember that in Super Mario Brothers, except for like the last castle where you have to go a certain
there's like a puzzle
pattern to get to Koopa / Bowser, and then I don't remember any of that in number 2 at all.
Sure,
so I like that. But now let's get into the things we loved most about Super Mario Brothers 3, and I'm gonna let Paul start us this time.
Oh, I love the music in this game. I have it on my playlist and I've had it for years. It's the best thing about this. It's so catchy and they did a great job. What's his name? You know who did it.
Kenji Kondo.
Yes, sure. We'll go with that.
Oh.
No, it's Koji Kondo.
Koji Kondo. My apologies. See, I'm glad you checked. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. You like the music?
Of course. It's great.
I'm curious, did you like the music? Since I know you played the sort of the up-leveled 16-bit version, but did that happen to make your classic maker or something else?
I wouldn't say it's my classic maker, but just I would say the music is great. And especially, I don't know how it is on the NES version, but this SNES version, the overworld for Zone 2, for World 2.
Yeah, the desert one?
The desert one. It totally sounds like a Mega Man song.
I can kind of hear that. Yeah. Yes.
I for a second, I thought I was playing the wrong game.
What is this?
No, the music's great. All of a sudden.
Yeah. Classic maker wise though, I would say I ran into something I didn't realize, and I just ran into it near the end of my time playing it, was that I guess the items you pick up into your bar or something, you can use them to use a power at the beginning of a stage.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Okay, I didn't know this at all. So I was just collecting them, like, I don't know what this is for. And then I accidentally pressed a button combination. And it used it at the start of a stage. I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I knew this.
Right. One of the be in this game.
Then you were unstoppable after that.
Yeah, people got frustrated with the stars because they're like, why am I starting a level with the star man? It's so frustrating.
I don't
the point of the star. The point of the star is to use on the Hammer Brothers when you have to battle battle them.
I never had any trouble with the Hammer Brothers. I just wait till they're on the 2 levels and go under and hit it.
Well, that's what they're mainly for.
Sorry, we're not all as good as you, Francisco.
I mean, it is a high bar, but
he didn't even beat the game, so
But yeah, I thought it was cool that it had some kind of aspect of persistence between the different stages, almost like the start of like RPG type of mechanics.
Yes. Totally. Absolutely.
So I really like that because I wasn't expecting that from an old school Mario game at all.
Yeah. Where's my Phoenix down? That's let's see. That's from Final Fantasy, Paul.
Oh.
Yeah. Keith said RPGs, so I was going off of that.
I was thinking Chrono Trigger. Sorry.
All right, that's fine. Colin, what was the thing you loved most about Super Mario Bros. 3?
Yeah, what I loved the most, the gameplay itself. It was just great. I was just really sharp and responsive, and I can't stand like kind of loose and kind of sloppy gameplay,
totally.
That actually kind of happens more in modern gaming. And so this is just like as sharp as it gets. I mean, like every move counts, And I just love the simplicity of it. Just like A is jump, B is action, move is move.
Yep. Exactly. And hold to charge up the P meter, and exactly.
Yeah, there's a couple little things that you can do, but like it's real straightforward and just kind of refreshing. Because modern games nowadays, you just have like 1,000 different combinations and all these buttons. And I mean, there's a time and place for that, but just this is kind of cool. And
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if I can tack onto that too, this game, like Mario 3, really kind of paved the way for a lot of games, obviously, down the road. But but then there are modern games that really hark back to the simplistic gameplay style.
Yes.
Like Limbo and Inside, like those games are just brilliant, and they do jump, action, and move, and
that's it. Yeah, exactly. And then you're just solving puzzles and. Oh, go ahead.
I'd add on to that Kingdom, if you guys have ever played that.
I love
It's
Kingdom.
also a 2-button game.
That's more of a strategy game, but I love Kingdom so much. I beat Kingdom on stream years ago now, but yes.
Too bad you didn't beat the Mushroom Kingdom.
You're lucky the bite me meter is maxed out, Paul, because you would have got another one. Oh my goodness. Well, that leaves my classic maker, which Paul sort of stole it right out from under me. But all the items, I think, were it's so cool how many. I feel like in Super Mario World, the only item really worth having is the cape. That's all you really want.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
It's Super Mario.
In this one, I think it's valuable to have the flower in some levels. I know some levels where I definitely wanted the flower. I didn't want the Tanooki suit or the raccoon tail. I wanted the flower power. Others, there were a lot, certainly that.
Flower power.
You know what I mean.
I love it.
Yeah, man. Hey. It's all cool, yo.
Let's have a mushroom or two.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that too. But I thought the raccoon tail was generally the best overall, but the frog suit was great in the water. I wish the Hammer Brothers was very helpful in some spots. Not as helpful as the other, but so just so many awesome items that were not just like there to just pad. They actually had good use cases for it.
For sure.
So, all right, guys. Well, now it's time to show.
But the music's better.
Whoops.
But anyway, what'd you forget?
Something else I liked. You think I'd learn after wow,
these transitions are getting longer and longer.
Master Interrupter. Wait, let me finish.
Oh, this is like episode 3033, right?
Yeah. Episode 242, Colin.
Oh, no, but by the time you get to episode 3000, it'll be a whole hour of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. After all this time, after 3000 episodes, you'd think that I would remember the Cellcast, but no.
I seem to have forgotten the Cellcast. The Cellcast, hosted by Jacob and Drew, review animated movies and TV shows, discussing what they appreciate about the medium in whatever form it takes, whether it is a traditional hand-drawn animated movie, claymation shorts, or 3D CGI series. Check out some animated reviews when you subscribe to the Cellcast at cellcast.podbean.com. And don't forget Cell is spelled with a single L at thecellcast.podbean.com.
That's great, Francisco. That's real camaraderie since they're streaming right now live as we're recording this. So is that why you mentioned them?
I try. No, because Super Mario 3 actually had its own animated series. There's a Super Mario Brothers Super Show, but there's also Super Mario Brothers 3, which I don't know if I ever saw, but doing research, I was like, oh, well, there's the thing.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So that's why, because there's an animated series of this game.
Yes.
Is that good, Paul? That track for you?
Sure.
Did they beat it?
Not.
That's allergies. I don't know if they beat it, but I would like to beat some trivia into you guys. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give it to me.
Good. Okay. Did you all realize that the chain chomp enemy, a barking, tethered ball and chain creature with eyes and teeth, was drawn from Miyamoto's early life, in which a dog lunged at him but was pulled away?
Yes.
So my question to you guys is, what Mario enemy would you be the most frightened of to face in real life? Like if it came out of the game and started attacking you, what would you be like, ah?
Okay. Does it have to be from Mario? Any of the Mario games?
It could be from any Mario game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
For me, it would be the Koopa Bowser that comes out of the lava that's just all bones. Because after you think you beat him, like, okay, how do I beat this? It's
which game is that from? Is that that's not 64, is it?
No, it's after that. I think it was it was definitely on one of the games that I played for the
Wii?
No, I didn't have a Wii. It was before the Switch, there was the 3DS.
The GameCube?
No, the 3DS.
The 3DS. Oh, okay.
But yeah, basically you fight Bowser, throw him in the lava, and then his skeleton comes out, and you have to beat the skeleton of that. So it's just
crazy,
creepy, and like, oh no, what do I do?
Okay.
Early.
Yeah. How about you, Colin?
Man, that giant eel in Nintendo 64 is, you know how it kind of comes out. You know,
I don't remember.
The boat,
I'm sure I've played it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, the water one. That's pretty spooky.
It's huge.
Yeah. So bring it, but it's cool looking though, but it's pretty freaky. Bringing it back to this game. Jeez. Yeah, the chain thing is pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's really well done in the game though too, actually.
Yes. Absolutely.
No, the chain one is good too.
Yeah. Kitos, how about you?
I'm just gonna fanboy and say the sword from the Super Mario RPG. If a giant sword came down from the sky, that'd be kind of terrifying. That would be pretty menacing.
Yeah. Oh man, watch out for it! It's coming right at me. I can't dodge it.
So, Francisco, would you say that's your pick as well?
No, my pick would just be Giant Bowser, because from like 64 or anything like that.
Huge,
he's so big, and like unless I have like Mario's superpowers, I don't know how he'd take on something like that.
He's like a dinosaur.
Well, yeah, he's like a dinosaur. I was gonna say he's like a kaiju, but no, not really. Dinosaur is more apt.
Yeah. All right. What about great trivia, Francisco? Well, did you want to say something?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, what about the giant fish that pops up and just,
Big Bertha?
Oh my gosh, in this game? Oh, jeez, and swallows you?
Yeah, you're a goner.
What am I, Jonah here?
You. Yeah, exactly.
No, that's the problem. You're not.
That is a problem. If only I was Jonah, then it spit me out. Yeah, that was an annoying sort of character. Of all the ones that I found, like in later levels, I was able to avoid him fairly well. So it wasn't too bad for me, but some of those, I think in this game, if I'm going strictly with this game, I would probably say just because they're so annoying in the warships. And the final sort of after you get to the castle, it says help, and you go get on the ships, the flying ships. The like bear guys that throw the wrenches because it moves around with it doesn't it doesn't like home in on you or anything, but it's hard to guess. And if they throw it, if you land on them just as they're throwing it, it'll kill you. So I got really annoyed with those.
Yeah.
And so I'd be scared sometimes bears just pop out of my ground and throw wrenches at me.
Sometimes when you jump on them, they disappear, but sometimes they come back.
They totally come back. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
all right.
But, yeah.
Let's get on with some other trivial things, like what memories you, our awesome rewinders, had to say about Super Mario Brothers 3.
Let's do that. D. Tungsten says, best 2D Mario. I remember quite a bit. That's partly why I didn't volunteer for the show. Okay, well, there you go.
All right. Drew from the Cellcast. Hey, we were just talking about you.
Oh, yeah, we were. Oh, my gosh.
He says, I remember being confused at how a raccoon power-up meant you could fly. Raccoons don't fly.
Well, maybe that goes back to the Tanooki sort of mythos from Japan or something.
Maybe.
But maybe.
Well,
yeah,
the trash pandas here don't.
They do not. And then Red Spear says, I remember not knowing how the Tanooki suit works. Well, hopefully we've been able to educate you there, Red Spear. I could never get the hang of it. Thank you all for yeah, it can be if you're not sure what to do, for sure. Thank you all for sharing your memories. And Red Spear's comment kind of leads us right into the things we didn't like or didn't think worked about Super Mario Brothers 3. So it's time for our worst three things. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Epic.
So I'm going to start out this time by saying the thing I hate. One of the things I really didn't like was, can we get a save point in this game? I mean, if I did not have save states, I would be so gone in this game. Yes, exactly. It gets so hard. I cannot imagine anyone who play. Now, if you're doing the whistle and doing sort of just only doing the worlds you have to do to beat the game, like 4 and 8, you said.
Hey,
then
I did that, and I died so many times on the first level of the first world that I got to continue right on the first one. So I'm right there with you. No, it took a while.
I feel like it should save after every world. I think that'd be the minimum I would want. Every world you get a save. But that was just so annoying for me that I mean, I didn't have to experience it necessarily since I had, like I said, I had save states, but just thinking back to not be able to have that, it just pains me.
For sure. Yeah, if you play it on the Switch, you can rewind, and I had to rewind a couple times.
How'd you rewind? Oh,
yeah.
wait. Were you playing this All-Stars, or were you playing...
No, you can rewind on any of those games.
Yeah, they switch it up on you.
I was playing the Switch version. How'd you rewind? What'd you press to get the rewind?
No way.
You hold the select and L button at the same time.
Hold on right now.
He's going to do it live right here in front of us.
Could ask me.
The phone.
Could ask me.
Yeah, you could ask me where whistles are either, but no, it's kind of like we don't ask you what version to play.
You said, it's behind the 2 clouds. I'm like, I don't know. There's no clouds here. I don't see what you're talking about.
That's because you didn't fly up there.
Okay, so I'm at a level here. I'm just going to do a pipe so there's no enemies. Okay, so you say I could rewind by pressing what now?
Both. What was it, like a plus and the right button or something like that? Or
he does it.
Plus and R?
You hold them down. I just got it, so I can't exactly remember. There's some sort of button combination that brings up the screen.
Oh my gosh!
There it is, folks.
You can rewind your move and try again.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, you press and hold ZR, ZL.
Yeah, it's
ZR and ZL and ZR at the. You don't just press. Don't just like click and press and hold.
Yeah, you hold it down.
Oh my god!
It's like you just found out there were mushrooms in this level.
I needed that thing so bad, dude. Because it's a tough game, man. It's tough. But like to your point, I can't imagine, just straight through like back in the day.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's amazing you cheaters played on the Switch.
I was very selective about it.
Because my first dislike is that at least on the emulator that I played, because just to make sure, after playing Super Mario Brothers 3, I played. I went in and played the All Stars like Kitos did that version,
cool. Okay.
and then I played After that, I played the original Mario Brothers. But on this one, on the emulator that I played, the jump response was so horrible. You get used to it and you compensate, but especially trying to jump off 1 or 2 blocks. Or especially the music block that's just one block,
the music block
that you just had to jump right on it and time it just right. The response is horrible for that. So that's my number 3.
Gameplay.
Well,
man.
but that was just the PC version, or that was all the versions?
That was the one. It was on both. I didn't play enough of the gameplay on the SNES was a little better. Than the NES.
That makes sense. Okay.
So the original NES, it was tough there.
Gotcha. All right. Fair. Colin, what's something you didn't like about SMB3?
The hockey helmet boomerang dudes were always kind of tough and annoying. Like they usually powered me down.
Yeah.
And just I don't know, but that's part of the game, I guess. And I didn't like the fact that the star lasts a grand total of like 3 seconds.
Yeah,
and then
what's up with that?
can barely do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Barely do anything. That's come on.
Yeah, you go and try and grab it, and then you don't really get to clever anybody with it.
And then there were some levels, if you play this is like World 7 I'm talking about now, there was like one level where I just gave up on it because essentially you would need to you get a question box, get a star, get to the next question box, and to get a star. And if you miss any star, you won't get the next star. So it's like you have to get them in time. And there's one that's like so impossible to get there in time. It's just like, oh my gosh, no, I'm not doing this. So yeah, that's an example of ridiculous game design. I'm just like, what did Super Mario Maker 2 make this level or something? I'm gonna whine, Paul. Kitos, what made you whine about this game?
So I mean, I only got to World 2, but from what I noticed, all the stages were way shorter than any of the other Mario games I played.
Some of them were really short. Yes.
Yeah. I was kind of amazed because it took me all of like, I would say 20 seconds to finish some of them.
Yeah. Go back and play the first episode in the original Super Mario Brothers. That's a short level. Well, so if you compare it to that,
really? I mean, even that one, I feel like at least took me a minute.
For some reason, yeah. Some of these I feel like were over really quick. Especially, I want to say some of the
turtles that the Hammer Brothers that you're battling. It's only that one screen. It's supposed to be that short. No, but I know some are way longer than others. Yeah. Like the one with you get all the stars in order in timing. That one's longer. Yeah.
Is it maybe because like they're shorter in just the length because there might be more to explore? There might be more kind of secrets or something.
I think it's more because they make it so challenging that they make it shorter, so you're not suffering forever in a day. But it could be there sometimes there's secrets. Yeah, with no saves, exactly.
Yeah.
I guess there are continues, but then you have to do all the levels over each time. But that sort of goes into my next dislike. Kitos is so there's the castles like sort of in the middle of each world, and then there's the end sort of warship boss battle to complete the world. And I'm talking about the castles now. I thought first off, some of them were really short, and then all of them it was the same boss. There was like a slight variation in some of them, but they were just the same. And you figure out very quickly a very regimented pattern to beat them. You like jump on it, then wait a little bit, jump up so that you land when it comes out of its spikes, and do that again. It's
but if you wait too long, some of them get harder and fly, and then
that's why you don't wait too long. You wait the right amount of time. Well, don't do it right.
This repetition helps you get better at that.
Yeah, I learned that. Yeah, it certainly did help me get better with that. And to the point where I felt like it was too samey. Each one is like the same. But regardless, that is something else I didn't like. Kitos, was something else you didn't like?
I don't know. Like, I know you said earlier you liked the difficulty like raise up.
I felt like it raised up at a good click or a good click.
I felt kind of the opposite. I felt like some things were super easy, and then some things it was a huge difficulty spike. And I'm like, what do I do here? It was so nice
when things got easy after a hard level. Then you get the giant world. It's like, oh, this is nice and simple and jump boink.
I guess I didn't find that. Maybe. Okay.
For me, right? I found like early on in one of the earlier stages, I found the raccoon thing, like, and just by happenstance, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I accidentally ran into a block and it popped out of it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool, right? And then I flew through the whole stage. Like it was just instantly easy. But then I'd get to another stage and just like I'd die over and over.
Yeah, because they don't want you to every level to be that way.
No,
keeps
yeah.
it right.
So that's what I'm saying. It's kind of weird. The difficulty's like a wave. It goes up and down and up
Yes.
and down,
And I would
rather
say
than like a curve. Yeah.
perfect. Yes, I'd say that's it. But the wave gets the fluctuations in the wave get bigger and bigger and bigger. I guess is what I would say.
Okay.
So yeah, it does go up. There is a sine wave in each world, but the sine wave amplitude grows with each successive world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some math trigonometry for you there, ladies.
It's okay.
It's okay. Paul, what's something? Let's do one more just like from you before we get into tragic makers.
All right. So one of the many reasons why I died so much on that first level, just getting used to things, is that I would slide too much when trying to land, and I would just slide right into the holes and die. So I don't know how much if it was on your playability, but that took so frustrating, especially when trying to get to blocks, that you had to time it right, and you just was this true of you? Like to go and up and down a pipe, you had to go like right in the middle. You can't be off
you could
like
be
a
off
little bit.
I could be off a little bit. I would notice because as I'm going up it, I was off center some. But you couldn't go off like just the side. You had to be pretty near the center.
Yeah, not like the modern Mario where you can be like mostly in the middle and you go up or down.
My toes over the pipe. Oh, I'm going down. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it was it's getting those not only to be in the right pixel range, but also to keep it and then sliding it. Oh, it's just too much.
Yeah, there was a lot of pixel perfect feats that you had to make in this game. I noticed. But let's get into the things we hated most about Super Mario Brothers 3. Okay. Speaking of music, oh my gosh, I don't know how you would say no. I'll give you this. The songs themselves were great, very catchy and all that. But they're the same ones over and over and over and over, like the same 4 songs.
No.
Yes.
They were haunting my nightmares for a while.
That's because you're playing each level 100 times.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the overworld, each world in the overworld, the minimap has its own music. So why not apply? I mean, even if it's the same melody, this is something Super Mario World does. Same melody, but they sort of orchestrate it differently or change it goes from major to minor or do something to it to make it different according to the world to theme it better. I mean, the graphics are themed beautiful each time. There's so much to this, but they just reuse the same music over and over and over again. Which it's good music in of itself, but when you hear it for the millionth time, it's like, I am done. This is not helping, Paul. So now that I have that off my chest. No, do not play it again.
One more time.
Colin, one more time for you. What's your tragic maker for SMB3?
I don't know. This kind of goes. This is kind of problematic throughout. I guess most of Mario games. I've just never really been a fan of like the damsel in distress kind of thing.
No saving the princess, huh?
Yeah, it's like
let her save herself.
Well,
I got pipes to clean over here. I'm a plumber, don't you know?
Well, that's the whole premise of the game, and it's just okay. I mean, I just prefer like the stronger female character, and just the helpless princess that needs rescuing kind of thing. Just certainly isn't my favorite thing. But,
well, so if you played through, I forget, did you play through the whole thing this time, Colin, or no?
Well, yeah, I beat it in like 4.5 hours.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Colin.
And at the end, she says a princess is in another castle. It's
no. So unless I remembered wrong, she doesn't get abducted until the final world. Like, it's only then when you're going to World 8 that she's actually been kidnapped. Before then, she's just like writing you letters and giving you tips.
Yeah. I think I don't remember her. Well, at least when I warped, it didn't do that for me. It was just sending me letters from, I guess it was, I assumed from her kidnapped.
Yeah, I just assumed it was from something like that.
Yeah, there's no story in this. Maybe it's another Mario game.
That's the thing, though. I would say play World 7 to the end, and then the letter that you get from there is like, "Oh no, I've been kidnapped. Please come help me," because it's different than the other letters.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
I mean
but it's still the same. So it's delayed. But
you
it's still
played all those levels and all those worlds. And how many P-wings did you get?
I don't know, 3.
That's it.
And I used every one. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say you should have got like a bunch of P-wings that should have helped. But anyway, the game Genie, there's a code where you can get nothing but P-wings at the bottom.
Well, that's just great.
Well, okay, then I'll say I like how she's evolved through the years. Then, Princess Toadstool,
absolutely.
where you can play her in Mario Kart and smoke everybody and just.
So you like how in Super Mario Brothers 2, the USA version, you can play her and defeat Wart, and then it evolves into Super Mario Brothers 3, where she's kidnapped and you have to rescue her.
That's a good point. I don't play 2 all that often, but or rarely ever. But yeah, you're a hater. I understand.
But that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. It's almost like you're hoping for a different type of use a different trope. That trope's been played a lot.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Right. This game again? Save a princess.
Kitos, what do you wish could have saved this game if they didn't have it in it?
I wouldn't necessarily phrase it that way, but
whatever. I'm doing my best with the segues. Fine. Kitos, what's your charging maker? Go.
Thank you, Francisco. That's perfect. No, something I just kind of noticed about it, and this is really just my thought on it, is the game only gets funner the more you know about it and the more you play it.
Yeah.
I could see that.
So
it's not so much a pick up and have fun type situation.
When I started playing it, I had very hazy memories from when I played it, 25 plus years ago now. And I started playing it, right? And it honestly wasn't that fun at the start. I was like, okay, it's a Mario game, Did
you die a bunch of times on the first level too?
Kept getting into pits.
Well, just a little bit while I was, getting used to the controls and everything. But once I got used to the controls,
how many times do you flick your tail like halfway and then you die because you didn't time the flicking right?
Yes, that was annoying. Yeah, I agree.
Try to get fancy and you pay for it.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing, right? The more you play it and the better you get at it, the more fun it becomes. But that initial experience is very frustrating and not very fun. So I would say that's my tragic maker. Yeah,
that's totally fair. I wonder if this goes back to the time when games were so expensive, you only had a few of them, and so you'd play the ones you had. Because that's
for better or for worse. Yeah.
I could just download another free one every 10 minutes on my phone. I'm going this one. So that's fair though, Kitos. And let's end with you, Paul. What's the thing you hate most about this game?
Well, if it hasn't been obvious by my number 3 choice, the jump response, and number 2, the slide response, it's the controls.
Controls? Really?
Yes.
I felt like the controls are fine.
Well, that's because you played on the Switch. Play it on the original Nintendo and tell me if there's a difference or not.
I mean, that's
if
fair.
If this had the same Mega Man controls that are so precise.
Mega Man's tight.
Yeah. Then I'm there. That would have been a whole different experience for me.
Okay. I wasn't predicting that, but I mean, it was there. It was there the whole time. So when I go back and re-listen to this podcast, it'll be like, oh, I see what he's doing. I see where he's going.
You know where it's going.
You're M9 Shyamalan-ing me here, Paul.
Yeah.
But very good, guys. Well, now that we've entered all our targeting information into the firing computer, Alice, you have a firing solution for us.
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo at the ready. On your mark.
All right. Where's your salvo authority? Let's see it.
All right. Do we rate Super Mario Brothers 3 A classic, we'd recommend anyone go play this game, whether or not they've played it before. A nostalgic, it's worth a replay if you played it as a kid or played it at some point in your youth. But if you've never played it before, maybe stick with another Mario game. Maybe we could give some suggestions if that's the case. Or do we rate it a tragic? It's not worth anyone's time today. If you remember liking it, great, but don't play it again because you'll sully your memories of that experience. And if you've never played it before, then good. Stay far, far away. Let's start with our guests. Colin, what is your final reign for Super Mario Brothers 3? And you predicted nostalgic. Stay the same, go up, down. What is it?
Yeah. Just after talking through it like that and just giving the rating rundown like that too, it was just, I started nostalgic and gosh, I want to say classic. I do want to say classic because, I mean, just the updated graphics and the gameplay for me, you know, playing on the Switch was awesome. And it was just still exciting and fun. And would I go back to it regularly? Like, probably not. You know?
You don't have to. It doesn't have to be replayable necessarily, unless that's what makes.
I mean, that kind of
constitutes
a classic, though, too, because you want to go back to it.
Factor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I guess it was it paved the way. So I would say classic for that.
Classic.
Oh,
all right.
Woo! You have me sweating there.
Kitos, don't disappoint. What's your final rating with a prediction of nostalgic? What did it end up being?
Okay, so I really want to give it a classic, but
This sounds very familiar.
We are in the same battle boat.
I'm really teetering between nostalgic and classic. The thing is, like, I have so many experiences from other Mario games that I remember even after 25 plus years of playing them, right? That I can't help but give this one a nostalgic. And the reason being is I remember things from Super Mario World, Super Mario Brothers, the first one. I remember a lot of those, a bunch of different Mario games, right? I remember a lot of that. But this one, as
Mario
as
teaches
cool as
typing. Great.
No, as great as it is, and it is actually a great game. That's why I want to push it towards classic. But I think, truth be told, it's only good for people who have previously played it way back in the day.
Yeah,
I don't think, I wouldn't recommend it to someone new or someone getting used to the Mario franchise. I would actually point them towards Super Mario World.
Yes, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
nostalgic
I rate it
for
nostalgic, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, that's
Paul?
so valid, though. That's just such a valid... Oh, man, that's tough.
Absolutely.
Tough. You both predicted nostalgic, and that's where you landed. Good job.
No, Colin went with classic.
Yeah, I'd lean toward classic, but I mean, I would just say like Nintendo 64, like Mario 64, is just an automatic classic for me. You know? Yeah, I would say.
Is it?
It really changed things up.
Cover that another time. Paul, what is your final rating for?
I predicted a classic.
You did predict classic.
And sadly, I would have rated this a tragic if it hadn't been for all the good stuff that we mentioned. So I landed right in the middle on nostalgic.
Nostalgic.
And so apparently, if you play on the newest versions.
Play on this one.
Yeah.
For me, I am so torn because I feel like my playthrough was a very rich experience because I haven't played the whole game like this and gone as far as I could. I felt like I was getting better and improving, and there
Did
was
you like
so
the
much
music.
No. This silence you're hearing, good listener, is me being utterly livid with my EXO.
Oh, no need for silence. I got you covered.
Where's the airlock? Where's the airlock? Anyway, for me, sound effects aside, I think I'm going to be in line with most of you guys, nostalgic as well. There's a lot to like about this game. If you're someone who, okay, I'll phrase it this way. If you're someone who enjoys the eustress of a game like Celeste or maybe The Messenger or games that are like 16-bit, high bit, 2.5-bit, whatever you want to call it these days, the games that look like retro games, but they coming out today. If you like the challenge of those and want to sort of like experience the forefathers of that challenge, I would go with a game like this. This and like Mega Man 2, if you want some a challenge that's in those veins, because you will have quite the challenge playing through this without whistles, or
Game Genie,
or Rewind. Yeah, if you want,
or mushrooms, or any power ups.
I didn't go that far. Anyway,
I was impressed that you beat a lot of the bosses small, so that takes some skill.
And that continued on in my own playthrough. Yes, I was being bosses small. But so I rate it nostalgic just because it's not something where I'm gonna really want to go back. I may want to just finish it out. I have to be it for my NES quest where I beat every game that comes stock on the NES Classic for streams. But otherwise, I'm not gonna really desire to go back and play this game. So
sad.
According to the Retro Rewind podcast, we rate Super Mario Bros. 3, which is a classic to many, but for us, with our valid opinions, we rate it a disputed nostalgic game. So if you remember liking it, give it another shot today. But if you've never played it before, go play Super Mario World or Super Mario 64 maybe. Exactly. But now it's time to get back to our own time. Good old 20XX.
20XX?
Comsat online. Receiving incoming transmission.
Feels good to be back, but we wouldn't have been able to travel back to 1990 to begin with if it weren't for our amazing reflux capacitors, namely... let's see. I was going to try to do it in the Jared Holzhauer, Deborah Powers, Brian Keating.
You need some music
Patrick
for that?
Six, Lowell Lowry, Chris. Okay. I don't need music. I'll do my own music. Chris Cowan, Chris Owens, Geek Devotions, The Untold Podcast, James Kennison, Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Cronenbitter, Pastor Houston, Kennethan, Redeemed Otaku. That's our Bobo, Josh Adams, D. Tungsten. I'm going to be done with that now. Andy Lewis, Jeff, the Dabberman Reviews, Tony from the Retro Days, Mr. Lost, Daryl Hafner, Rosie, in addition to 9 other awesome patrons as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. And you pay for that song, so you're welcome. And if you want to help keep us flying for as little as $1 a month and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to start.
Press the start button.
This stream is sponsored by PaulJPowers.com.
And while we're thanking our people, we also want to thank you people. You people who joined us right now, you Colin and Cool Deluxe. We want to give a big super thank you to our brothers for supporting us with their thoughts on Super Mario Bros. 3 tonight. Colin Schlick, let's start with you. Where can people find you online? And is there anything cool you got going on they want people to know about?
Yeah, you can find me online at artbycolin.com. That's my full portfolio, a bunch of cool illustrations and design, pop culture vibes. And you can pick up prints and artwork at my shop at artbycolin.bigcartel.com.
Nice.
And if you and I want to collab on a project together, we can do artbycolin.com/connect. And we talk about any kind of, logos or illustration you want to do. You can find me on Instagram at artbycolin with 2 L's. And lots of Gallery 1988 stuff coming up this year in 2022. Lots of cool shows. And so follow me on Instagram and you can keep up with me there. And all the art drops and stuff are going to be happening there.
Very, very cool. Thanks for being on, Colin.
Thank you for having me.
Sorry, Colin, I'm talking, but we're thankful that you are here. Now it's Keithos' turn. Keithos, where can people find you online? Is there anything cool you got going on?
So people can find me online at my Twitter. It's at CoolDeluxe, QOOLDELUXX.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Now it's the captain's turn to talk. Sorry. Next.
Is this Brian Singer?
Oh my gosh, it's not Brian Singer.
Oh.
Thank you again, Colin.
Sounds just like him.
My super friend Paul, and all you rewinders, new or old, for another fun voyage with us.
You're welcome, and you can find me at pauljpowers.com.
And find me on our Discord for show announcements or just to say hi. Join us there at retrorewindpodcast.com/Discord.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box, a curated collection of podcasts, videos, and articles that will provide you a balanced meal of content. You will find culture celebrated for its past and future, satirized for its extremes, explored in study, and created anew in story. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
And as Nathan just said, we are now part of the Culture Box Media Network. Find all shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery at culturebox.media. With that, Captain, we're on final approach to 8-bit base because it was an 8-bit game.
I get it. It, XO. Thank you, XO, and thank you all for listening. We pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for the next Karate Kid, our next episode of the Retro Rewind Podcast.
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to nav point Omega and return to base.
Then it was Will Smith's turn. Now there's a next one? Hey, Francisco, I'm honestly kind of bummed that we're not doing another episode of Young Indiana Jones to review.
Really?
So what should we watch and review instead?
Well, I mean, I don't want to do anything like Young Indiana Jones again. So how about something good, like Firefly?
All right, let's make it a year of brown coats.
Ba-da-dum-dum-dum, take my life, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. I don't care, I'm still free. You can't take the sky from me. Take me out to the black. Tell them I ain't coming back. No, no, no. Burn the land and boil the sea. You can't take the sky from me. No, no, da, da, bow, 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 ba, 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 da, bow, ba, da, bow, ba, 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 ba. There's no place I can be since I found serenity. You can't take the sky from me. No, 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 no. Welcome to our watch through sort of reviews, post show of Firefly. We're going to be doing this throughout 2022 and ending our Christmas episode this year will be the movie Serenity. So hopefully you'll join along for our Firefly episodes post show. But very similar to Young Indiana Jones last time, we're going to be just talking about one dislike, whether or not we'd want to continue watching the show based on this episode. And also what character we connected with the most. So, Paul, will you give us technical details for the first episode of Firefly?
Edna mode.
What? Well, no. What?
I did not have it up. No, I was so not prepared.
I was like, what did I say that was wrong? I'm so confused.
No. I totally forgot about it. I was waiting to okay, you give the one sentence plot, but I totally forgot.
Yeah. I was going to do that, but yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
All right. End of mode while you're doing that. Good riddance to Young Indiana Jones says, actually, Firefly is actually good, unlike Young Indiana Jones. I'm fine words. D-Tungsten says, Cellcast, he got no body. I don't have a body. I'm just a flying head now.
Okay.
Like in Futurama, I'm just a head in a jar.
Okay, I'm ready.
Bob has to watch the whole series again. Yes, you do. Paul, to start, will you give us sort of the technicals for this first episode of Firefly?
Yes, so we are reviewing this in what some people call absolute order or DVD order. Basically, the way it was meant to air, but they aired it all over the place.
Yeah,
so we are starting with episode 1 titled Serenity that originally aired on December 20th in the year 2002. So 20 years ago this year exactly. So do you want to give us a one-sentence plot summary of this episode?
We're introduced to all the characters of Serenity and they're taking on passengers while trying to get smuggled goods to a planet called Whitefall to sell so they can have money to keep flying.
I love my captain.
I'm glad you liked it. So let's start talking about Serenity with something we liked about this episode. Kitos, what's something, and I think we've all seen this show before.
Yeah.
Kitos, what's something you liked about the pilot Serenity?
Wait, just right? Not classic maker?
You're classic. Yeah, this is because we're only doing one each.
Okay,
so you're
okay,
classic maker, yeah.
Okay, so in that case, okay, when Malcolm tells the doctor that Kaylee's dead, right?
Oh, Simon,
Simon, that she's dead, and he's completely serious and everything, and then Simon runs
because her arm drops and everything.
Yeah. They set up that scene perfectly. So her arm drops, he runs there, and she's just laughing and talking, no problem. Yeah. And then they cut back to Malcolm telling the rest of the crew, and they're all dying of laughter, like he's a psychopath. You're a psychopath. I even though I've seen this show probably like 3 or 4 times, I always forget how good that part is. It's so funny. That was just moments like that make it just truly great.
Yeah, there are lots of awesome moments for sure. The moment though that stole it for me, and I love watching this every single time, even though the sort of the polish of it is gone because it's old CG. It's just, I love the crazy Ivan at the end when they're trying to escape the Reavers and they do the
backwards thrust,
the backwards thrust, and then the I forget what they call it. It's like not hyperdrive, but it's what's it called? It's wherever their extra power to go faster is.
So speed.
Yeah, but they do it in atmosphere, and it's you're like, the camera's like mounted to the outside of Serenity looking down. I just love that shot and that whole moment, even though it goes to the cabin and Wash isn't holding anything because of the way they had to shoot it. If you look in that scene right after, he's miming that he's holding the flight controls, but there's nothing in there.
That's funny. Yeah.
So, but that's my favorite moment and my classic maker for the whole episode. Paul, how about you?
Well, it's just like you said in your plot synopsis. You got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And then you add the Reavers on top of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great introduction to them. And then you have this whole dramatic element tied to it that just makes it even more, like the stakes are even more high. And I just love the way the script, the story was scripted, this intro was great. And then most people would stop. You don't need the Reavers in there, and I just think it's an added element.
Yes,
that just brings it up another level. So.
Absolutely. What takes it down several levels though for you, Paul?
I was really disappointed in the character of Shepard Book when he came to the prisoner. And he was like, hey, I think they're about to hurt you. And he opens it up like he was going to let him go.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very not wise. And I was like, look, I was rooting for you as a character, but what are you doing here? This is a guy who just shot the engineer, whoever Kaylee is,
engineer.
And like, this is a dangerous person. You don't want to just let him loose willy-nilly on the ship.
Yeah.
So I thought it was very, I think the episode suffers for that, or that turn for that character, that action.
That's fair. I feel like the episode suffers the most and this is only because I've seen it several times. You miss it, or most people I think don't realize this, but it's the MacGuffin of the loot that they get at the beginning.
Yeah.
And so
where it's really, you think it's like gold, but it's really food rations.
Yeah, you think exactly. So you think it's like some metal or some alloy or some gold or something like that they get from this illegal salvage. The crew of the Serenity get from this illegal salvage. And the problem with just like selling it is there's this this Alliance imprint on it or stamp on it.
Right.
So that's traceable, apparently. But by the end of the episode, you find out it's foodstuffs. So really all you have to do is take the wrapper off and shave off or smash down that stamp and they can't trace it. So
I was thinking maybe the wrappers, like of this kind of food, in order to be valuable, it has to have a certain type of wrapper on it. But maybe
but she takes it off and just bites a little bit, and then if that were the case, it'd be spoiled and that'd be a waste essentially.
Yeah, it is problematic there. Yeah, I thought that. Yeah.
By the end, you're not thinking about it because it's so far removed from the introduction of that. But if you're watching it several times, you sort of pick up on that doesn't make sense.
I thought maybe it's like cans where once you open it, then it degrades really quickly or something.
Yeah, it's just then she would have wasted this whole thing that's apparently really valuable. We're talking about the character of Patience at the end.
Well, she had to test the sample, which is like, oh, you only brought one sample, so the sample's good, but the others are not. Like, and then she throws some money that is like a small bag, and you think, oh, that's the down payment, not the big thing. But he leaves with like, apparently that's all the money.
Yeah. Well, it could be a lot in there. I don't know.
Well, sure, but why would she just throw him the whole thing at first rather than you gave me a sample of food, then I'll give you a sample of money.
Well, it's because she was pretty much
take it back anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was just too, like, if that was the whole thing, that was, even I, as an amateur, would have been like, no, there's something up here. Like, you're going to give me the whole thing based on this sample. No, that doesn't make sense.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I didn't like about Serenity. How about you, Kitos?
Something that really took me out of it, like I was immersed in it the whole time, and for it was kind of hard to come up with something I didn't like about the episode, right?
Sure.
But something that did stick in my mind was Jane's sweatshirt when he's sniping looks like really like modern and like something from today compared to everything else that every other character is wearing.
Well, it's vintage. This is the future, so he's wearing a vintage sweater.
It's so strange. Like, I understand it too because it's great because it pushes his character away from everyone else, which is
that's a good point. Yeah,
kind of like
where the series sort of starts going.
Yeah. But it's just I feel like they could have done it with something else because that sweatshirt is weird.
You can think that's weird. Wait till he wears a toque on his beanie hat. Like.
Pretty cunning, don't you think?
Yeah.
That's very low key. I never really noticed that, but I could see how that would sort of take you out because it is so different from everything else. For sure.
Yeah. Awesome. It's like the costume designer was sick that day, and so he just wore what he was already wearing.
Wear that exactly.
Director's like, we're losing light. Let's go.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, what character? Maybe it was Jane. Maybe it was another one. What character did you connect with the most? For me, it's almost always Wash, but go ahead, Paul.
I was going to say River, because I often find myself waking up frozen and not knowing where I am, naked and everything. No, go ahead.
That's hard.
No, Wash is cool. I like his humor.
I love Wash's humor. Yeah, Wash is the pilot. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Kitos, how about you?
Yeah, I usually I relate with Wash a lot. Though sometimes I relate with Kaylee as well.
Yeah,
like her love for just the ship and like engineering and everything. I find myself very similar. in that regard.
How about you, Paul?
And this is gonna sound a little bit strange, but the doctor, I forget his name.
Oh, Simon.
Yeah, River's brother. Actually, it's not that I'm like super smart or I'm a doctor or anything. No, the sight of blood and everything is just that it's not for me. But it's like he has a mission. He's trying. He's focused on that mission, and he's trying to do the best by it. That's pretty simple. It's straightforward. It seems a little complicated, but it's not. It's almost like an average kind of person. Yeah.
Awesome.
The everyman.
Almost.
Just like Mario.
Yeah.
It's Mario. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my word. Awesome, guys. Well, very cool. then we will be continuing this in another month to talk about the train job, which is like pilot 1.5. The pilot's 1.5 is the first episode that actually aired. But do we even want to watch that? Would we want to watch that after watching Serenity? Kitos, would you want to continue watching the show after this pilot episode?
Yes, I definitely would.
Yeah, I would as well. Very much so. Paul, how about you?
I honestly haven't seen these since it first aired or roughly around that time. And I haven't watched all the episodes. I'd say over half though. And I don't remember if I've seen this or not.
Oh, okay.
But this was a great intro episode. I'm definitely psyched to see what comes next.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, very good, guys. Did you win the episode, G Tungsten says? Yes, we won the episode. Very much so. And a little earlier in chat, Cellcast said that I think it was Kaylee was his favorite that he enjoyed. So very good. Yeah. Let us know, guys, in chat, like which ones you like the most and all that. We'd love to hear your feedback.
What character do we like the most? I thought it was that we relate to the most.
Or like the most. It could be either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Either is fine. It doesn't have to be super. No, it has to be this exactly.
I thought it was cool that each of them is very different.
Yes, but they're still like a family in a way. Yeah.
Well, I haven't got to that part. I'm already not liking Jane.
They're just doing a job. They're just doing jobs. That's it.
Well, yeah, they
jobs,
anyway.
In fact.
We'll see that next month.
Next month. I was gonna say next week. Yeah, no, wait.
Every other episode.
Well, for Paul,
most of it.
For Kitos, and for me, I bid you all aim to misbehave.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Don't let the space bugs fight.